With the large streaming service companies rushing to sign up rights, owners, and athletes, sports documentaries are becoming an unexpected conflict. In 2016, Amazon introduced its All or Nothing behind-the-scenes series, and 2 years later, Netflix produced Formula One's Drive to Survive. The F1 docuseries quickly took off and garnered the racing world a brand new audience. Stick around to find out how this Netflix series is drawing in plenty of new, young F1 fans. Drive to Survive draws in a new, younger audience. Drive to Survive, a Netflix series about Formula One, has provided an intimate peek into the sport's traditionally secretive nature, and to the surprise of its officials, has attracted the American followers it has been seeking for years. I believe that has to be the single most critical influence on Formula One in North America, McLaren Racing CEO Zak Brown said. Drive to Survive comes up in almost every comment you get from someone outside the United States. People are going from saying, "I've never seen a Formula One race in my life," to saying, "I'll never miss another Formula One race." The 10-episode season was shot during the previous year's tournament and premiered on Netflix in 2019. Season 3 was launched in March, and Season 4 is now in production. It wasn't simple to get the series off the ground. Gaining the trust of teams which are protective of their car designs, data, and operations was initially difficult for the show's producers, Box to Box Films. In fact, Mercedes and Ferrari, two of the most dominant teams, declined to participate in Season 1. Formula One worked with the teams to determine the level of access they would provide, ensuring that their trade secrets would be kept safe. Except for Ferrari and Mercedes, 8 of the 10 Formula One teams decided to participate in the inaugural season. They stood to lose a lot more, Holmes added. "I believe that if one did or did not do it, the other would follow suit." They were laser-focused on earning the title. Despite the absence of two of the most well-known and successful teams, the first season was a success. Fans gained insight into the sport's inner workings, including personalities, politics, and pettiness. Ferrari and Mercedes had altered their minds by the time Season 2 began filming. The teams rapidly became at ease in front of the cameras, allowing them to be themselves. Even when Formula One implemented rigorous COVID-19 measures last season, teams incorporated camera crews into their bubbles so they could continue filming, demonstrating their trust. Many of Formula One's huge moments were captured over the 3 seasons, including drivers getting sacked while in the middle of a season and achieving emotional wins. Romain Grosjean's escape from a fiery crash that buried him in the smoldering wreckage of his car for nearly 27 seconds was one of the most dramatic moments of Season 3. However, a big part of Drive to Survive's success has come from portraying the personalities and lives of drivers outside the racetrack. Netflix is tight-lipped about its viewership stats, but FlixPatrol, a website that tracks movies and TV shows, reports that Drive to Survive reached #1 in the world for TV series shortly after Season 3's release in March. It also attracted more views than the first season, which Holmes described as unprecedented. The first season had a tremendous impact on the American Formula One audience. The first United States Grand Prix staged after Drive to Survive, launched in 2019, had an increase 15% in race day tickets sales over 2018. Bobby Epstein, the race's promoter, claimed it was because of the show and that the race in Austin, Texas in October will draw an additional 20,000 fans. Since the premiere of Drive to Survive, the number of people watching Formula One on television in the United States has also increased. According to ESPN, the average number of viewers per race has climbed to around 928,000 in 2021, up from around 547,000 in 2018. The rise in popularity in the United States coincides with a critical period of Formula One. In 2022, a second Grand Prix will be introduced to the United States, this time in Miami, as the sport attempts to expand further into the country, with only one team, Haas of Kannapolis, North Carolina, and no drivers. The United States has little presence in the sport. This sport is only set to blow up in the next few years, especially as interest in the Netflix docuseries continues to increase. Max Verstappen signs a huge deal. Max Verstappen, the reigning Formula One world champion, is expected to sign a 4 or 5 year contract with Red Bull, earning roughly $50 million per year, or 76.4 million Australian. Verstappen's claimed salary of $55 million is a significant increase over his previous income of $25 million, putting him roughly on par with Mercedes competitor Lewis Hamilton, whose rumored salary of $55 million. However, F1 compensation compensation figures are unknown, and elite drivers can earn a lot of money through endorsements off the track. Verstappen, still just 24 years old, was Formula One's youngest driver when he began his career a few months after his 17th birthday, and he swiftly delivered on his promise when he joined Red Bull, winning on his debut at the age of 18. Due to a decision to pit behind the safety car and race director Michael Massey's choice to bring the safety car in right before the final lap, the Dutchman controversially claimed the 2021 world title by passing Lewis Hamilton on the final lap of the season's final race in Abu Dhabi. This is a massive deal for the young, talented driver, but definitely does not come as a surprise since he has been leading the pack since his debut as a teenager. FIA allows Belarusian and Russian drivers to race on under a neutral flag. The FIA, the governing body of Formula One, has bucked popular sentiment by permitting Russian and Belarusian drivers to continue competing under a neutral flag. The decision runs counter to the International Olympics Committee and FIFA's decision to outright ban their participation following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The FIA has ruled that drivers can compete under the FIA flag. The decision was made at a special meeting of the World Motorsports Council on Tuesday, which was called at the last minute to discuss the invasion and how the sport should respond. However, rather than the expected ban, the FIA's resolution flies in the face of a widely held belief that sporting sanctions must be felt. The newly appointed FIA president, Mohammed Ben Sulayem, issued a statement condemning the invasion and expressing his regret over the events in Ukraine, but stopping short of taking truly serious action. Currently, the rules have been put in place include, at events, no Russian or Belarusian flags, symbols, or colors will be allowed to be exhibited, nor will anthems be played. Russia and Belarus will also be barred from hosting FIA events. Nikita Mazepin, a Haas driver, is the team's title sponsor, and his father's Russian chemical company, Uralkali, is the team's title sponsor. Mazepin will now be able to race with Michael Schumacher's son Mick this season. Haas has yet to respond. The Russian Grand Prix was due to take place the day following the invasion, and F1 acted with uncommon haste to cancel it. The FIA made no remark at the time and now only vaguely mentioned the event being canceled due to force majeure. On the other hand, the International Olympic Committee, IOC, proposed on Monday that Russian and Belarusian athletes and officials be barred from competing. Since 2012, the FIA has become an IOC-recognized federation. Later on Monday, FIFA and UEFA replied to the IOC's stance by prohibiting all Russian national and club teams from competing in their respective events. The sport did not reprimand Russia, but stated that the race would be impossible to hold under the current circumstances. The race in Sochi was scheduled for September 25th, but it has been canceled as a result of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. F1 announced the relocation 2 hours after UEFA said the Champions League final would be moved from St. Petersburg to Paris this season. Due to the race's unanimity of opposition, a decision was taken relatively quickly by F1 standards. A statement was published last week. "We are concerned and surprised by the events in Ukraine and hope for a speedy and peaceful resolution to the current crisis," the statement said. With everything going on in the world right now, especially between Russia and Ukraine, it's only going to get worse. And with almost everyone, including Russian citizens, opposing the war, it's those citizens who will suffer the consequences, with countries all over the world cutting off their support for Russia. Ultimately, Russian Formula One drivers are suffering as a result of their president's hasty and perplexing choice. And there you have it, everything you need to know about Netflix's Formula One docuseries that has taken the world by storm and captivated an entirely new audience. Along with this, we also delved into Max Verstappen and his new major deal and why Formula One is allowing Russian and Belarusian drivers to race under a neutral flag with some restrictions. Make sure to let us know your thoughts down below. Have you binged Drive to Survive yet? What do you think about the FIA and its decision to relocate the Russian Grand Prix? Let us know. But if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new and upcoming content. Thanks for watching.